All right, let's get right into it. For so long, we've talked about the mind and the body as if they're two totally separate things, right? But what we're finding out now is that there's this hidden, incredibly powerful network that shows they aren't just connected, they are literally one and the same system.
You know these phrases. We all use them. That gut feeling about a big decision, or getting butterflies before you go on stage. But what if those aren't just cute figures of speech? What if they're actual, literal signals from a deep biological conversation that's happening inside you every single moment of every day?
You see, the old way of thinking was pretty simple. The mind was the boss, the command center, and the body just, well, it just followed orders. But we're now realizing it's a constant two-way street. It's a dialogue. Your body is talking back to your brain all the time, and it's influencing everything from your mood to the thoughts you have. So let's map out this incredible hidden conversation, starting with a discovery that's rewriting the actual textbooks of neuroscience.
Okay, our first stop is a truly groundbreaking discovery, one that is literally redrawing a foundational map of the human brain, a map that's been taught in neuroscience for almost 100 years. So this is the classic model you've probably seen. A neurosurgeon named Wilder Penfield back in the 30s was doing brain surgery, and he would electrically stimulate parts of his patients' brains. He found this specific strip of brain tissue, the motor cortex, that controlled movement. And from that, he created this famous kind of weird-looking diagram called the homunculus, or little man, which shows which parts of the cortex control your face, your hands, your feet, and so on.
And this map wasn't just influential, it basically became law in neuroscience. As Dr. Dossenbach puts it, its very dominance meant that for decades, scientists might have been missing a much bigger picture that was hiding in plain sight the whole time.
And this is where modern tech just blows the doors off everything. Researchers at Washington University used powerful MRI scans to look at Penfield's map again. And what they found was, honestly, shocking. Right there, mixed in with the areas for moving your hands and feet and face, were these zones that didn't activate during movement at all. Instead, they lit up when a person was just thinking about moving or planning an action before it even happened.
So they gave this a new name, the Somato-Cognitive Action Network, or SCAN, Somato for body, cognitive for mind. And this isn't just an idea, you guys. It's a physical, structural network in your brain that weaves together action with thinking, planning, and even your basic body functions like your heartbeat. It's a literal mind-body connection built directly into the brain's wiring.
Okay, so if this SCAN network is kind of like the headquarters for the mind-body connection, how do the messages actually get around? What are the superhighways that carry this inner dialogue throughout your entire body?
Well, the main infrastructure for all of this is the autonomic nervous system. Think of it as this massive, branching network of nerves connecting your brain to every single internal organ. It's running all the functions we don't have to think about, from our breathing to our digestion.
Now, this system has two main branches that work in this really beautiful balance. You've got the sympathetic system, which is basically your body's gas pedal. It revs you up for fight or flight, making your heart race and your pupils widen. And then you've got the parasympathetic system. That's the brake. It's your rest and digest mode, which slows everything back down and focuses on the long-term stuff.
And this whole conversation isn't just about feeling hyped up or chilled out. The level of detail here is absolutely astounding. Let's look at two brand new discoveries that show just how incredibly specific this dialogue can be.
Just this year, in 2024, researchers at Columbia found a specific circuit in the brainstem that acts like a thermostat for inflammation in the body. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. Your brain isn't just passively watching your immune system go to work, it's actively turning the dial up or down, managing inflammation like a skilled technician. This is a massive shift in how we understand the brain's control over the body.
All right, let's talk about that gut feeling. Turns out, it's not just a feeling. Your gut is lined with over 100 million nerve cells. To put that in perspective, that's more neurons than you have in your entire spinal cord. This system is so complex that scientists often call it our second brain.
And the conversation gets even weirder and more amazing. Recent work shows that actual molecules from the walls of our gut bacteria travel all the way up to the brain. And the levels of these molecules go up and down with our sleep-wake cycle. This gives us a direct link between the trillions of microbes in our gut, the quality of our sleep, and even how clearly we think. It turns out our entire biological community is in on this conversation.
Okay, so we've got all these super complex biological networks chattering away.
But how does all that biochemistry, turn into the feelings we actually experience every day? Happiness, hunger, even guilt.
Well, this is fascinating. Researchers in Finland created what they call body maps of our feelings, and they found that different feelings have these distinct physical fingerprints. Hunger, no surprise, is felt in the stomach. Thirst is in the throat. But what's really wild is that even complex emotions have physical locations. Feelings like guilt, or even something as abstract as solidarity, are consistently felt by people in their heart, head, and stomach. Our emotions are literally embodied. This whole constant dialogue is designed to keep us in balance, in a state of what scientists call homeostasis. But what happens when the signals get to be too much? When the system gets pushed way too hard for way too long? Well, we get the classic stress response. First, there's the alarm stage, that initial fight-or-flight jolt. If the threat sticks around, you enter the resistance stage, where your body adapts and just stays on high alert. But you can't stay there forever. Eventually, if the stress doesn't let up, you hit the exhaustion stage. Your body's resources are tapped out, and that leads to burnout and makes you more likely to get sick. And this is the real problem with chronic stress. It creates this destructive feedback loop. Your brain senses a threat, so it tells your adrenal glands to pump out stress hormones like cortisol. This causes inflammation. But then, and this is the key part, that inflammation sends its own alarm signals back to the brain, which sees the inflammation as yet another threat, and the whole vicious cycle just keeps going, wearing the entire system down. So I know this all might sound a little bleak, like this system is just running on autopilot, and we're just along for the ride when it gets overloaded. But the answer to that is a hard no, because this is a two-way conversation. We have the power to consciously step in and change things.
This is honestly the most empowering takeaway from all of this new science. You can enter this conversation at any point. You can use your mind to change your body, sure, but you can also use your body to change your mind. You have the power to change the tone of the entire dialogue.
And the best part? You can start hacking this network with ridiculously simple actions. For instance, the next time you feel stressed, just try breathing slowly through your nose instead of your mouth. Studies show this can directly help calm down the amygdala, your brain's fear center. Or just sit up straight. An upright, confident posture can literally make it easier for you to remember positive things. And by simply practicing paying attention to your internal body signals, a skill called interoception, you can get better at managing your emotions and making smarter decisions. The brilliant neuroscientist Antonio Damasio really nailed it with this quote. It perfectly captures this new way of thinking. Our bodies aren't just taxis for our brains. They are a source of profound information, of deep wisdom. Those gut feelings we talked about, turns out, they're data. So we'll end on this question. If the whole split between mind and body is just an illusion, if they are one continuous communicating system, then we really have to rethink what it means to be healthy. It suggests that mental health isn't separate from physical health. They're two sides of the same coin. And maybe, just maybe, true well-being is all about learning to listen, really listen, to the conversation that's always happening within.